This NBA Playoff Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBET. Get started today and you'll get a risk-free bet up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. Get the details at wynnbet.com and download the app today. We're also brought to you by Coors Light. When you're sweating out your bets, remember to take some time to chill and grab the perfect cold refreshment, Coors Light. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer Dog?
Sean, I've been on a heater.
Yes, you have.
I've never called myself a NBA tout, but
I know.
holy shit, it's just like watching Days of Our Lives. I know exactly what's going to happen, the twists, the turns, the injuries.
Did not see a soap opera comparison to your NBA picking ability starting the show off. I did not see that coming.
I got some feedback from some fans who thought it was offensive I was comparing the NBA to wrestling because they're huge wrestling guys. So I moved on to the soap opera comparison because it feels more fitting with the way LeBron stormed off the court like a baby.
There is some telenovela vibes.
Kyrie walked out and stepped on the logo. I mean, come on. Let's go.
Yeah, Anthony Davis is in a coma, I assume. And then he's going to come out of the coma where he's doubtful. He's dealing with the groin issue. I feel like there's a lot of groin issues in the soap opera world as well. Ryan, quick turnaround. If you're watching this live on YouTube, we're doing a rare early before noon podcast. Probably wondering why I don't have a Coors Light cracked open. I will be cracking a bunch of Coors Light. Reasonable amount of Coors Light. When we go to the Clippers Mavs game tonight, Wednesday night, we're going to be in the house there. But we still, plenty of NBA action. We didn't talk about the Wizards Sixers yet. We didn't talk about Grizzlies Jazz.
No.
Couple games going on tomorrow. So much action happening. Of course, if you want to get in on the action, I don't know why you'd be sitting on the bench. Head over to wynnbet.com, wynnbet.com. wynnbet.com. Download the app today. It's as fun as the NBA theme song. Get started today and you'll receive a special offer up to a $500. That's right, $500 risk-free bet. Are you kidding me? All you got to do is go to wynnbet.com. Get all the details there. Generous promos, odds, and parlays happening right now over at wynnbet. Simple formula. Get Kramer's picks. Head over to wynnbet.com and let it rain cash. wynnbet.com to WIN. Kramer.
I had you set to NBA levels. I didn't realize you were going to come with the NFL heat.
Bring in because it's excitement. It's NFL level action, especially for the round one playoffs. Joining us to help break down the NBA playoffs, the latest picks, the host of the NBA Gambling Podcast, Ryan, Rich, Fat, Baby, McKee. RFB, how you doing? The Suns up 3-2.
Hell yeah.
I feel like you're if I know you, and I think I know you well, you're balancing being super excited with super nervous. Where are you at right now?
SUNS, Suns. I am all in now. I'm
Let's
a little
go.
nervous after Chris Paul re-aggravated his shoulder injury last night.
Yes.
But I'm feeling really great about this series overall. I definitely think that the Suns can take one of these next two games and win the series. And I'm just hopeful that Anthony Davis sits out, as my younger brother has taken to calling him Pussy Brow instead of Unibrow. Pussy Brow. That's how creative my younger brother is.
Well, it's not the most creative name, but it's catchy, almost as catchy as Charles Barkley's Street Clothes, Anthony Street Clothes Davis. And this is how soft, and I love the NBA show, but no one would even dare laugh at that joke. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was all you, Sean.
No.
Yeah, it is what it is, and I think what we're seeing here is maybe. I mean, we were big LeBron sympathists for a long time. What fun watching
LeBron
one of the greatest
Simps, as the kids call him.
One of the greatest players ever. I mean, to be similar aged and see how he's fallen off less drastically than I have in my athletic career, all impressive. But, God damn it, I don't know if you're a star player, if it's good for you to be hanging around with LeBron. Let's look back in history. Who do we have? Who are some notables? He absolutely murdered Delonte West as a human. We know that to be a fact.
Star player is probably.
Yeah, he wasn't really a star.
Well, look at what happened. He went from here to way down here. Kyrie Irving, batshit crazy.
Delonte West low is really low. I'm
just saying he deflates your value as a player.
Kyrie Irving seemed like a perfectly normal.
Where do you think he got the flat Earth stuff?
Yeah, where did all that stuff come from? Now
Anthony Davis still injury prone, not coming out of it. I don't know. I will say.
I mean, you're missing some big ones. There, that Heat team was never the same after he left.
Oh yeah,
all those guys
Chris Bosh
had to retire.
Chris Bosh, crazy
His
medical
heart condition. Yeah,
I mean, LeBron is the ultimate cooler. Look out!
I know
if you're playing blackjack and LeBron sits next to you, grab your chips and move on.
I know I'm a big Butler is Michael Jordan's kid guy. But what if
one more?
What if Bosh had to stop playing because LeBron stole his heart?
One more. Kevin Love. Have you seen Kevin Love lately? Whipping the ball at people, dealing with depression. What I feel for the guy, but I mean LeBron, everyone that's involved in LeBron's world completely goes to shit.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is a shout out to Rich Fact Baby. And the Taco Tuesday analysis that was done on sportsgamblingpodcast.com it was only last year, too. Wow. And because it came back to light, I saw PFT bringing up he needed to do a deep dive on Taco Tuesday because LeBron, once again, not showing up on a Tuesday.
No.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to pick that game last, but let's just get into it now. Suns head back to the Lakers. Lakers laying 2.5 at home, -140 on the money line, +115 going the other way. Man, I thought last game was the game that LeBron was going to show up, and I mean, he didn't have a horrible game, but he certainly didn't put on the Superman cape and carry the team. But now Anthony Davis, street clothes, probably going to play, but is he 100%? The guy clearly is never 100%. I think my conspiracy brain tells me that you have to go Lakers because the NBA wants a Game 7. But then also LeBron, he's got senioritis, right? It's June. He's eyeing up that vacation. He's got a bottle of red wine picked out. Nice vineyard he wants to uncork. He's going to get out on the, the Sea-Doo with, well, not Chris Paul, but he's going to go out on the banana boat or whatever he does on his summer holiday. I mean, he is just itching to get out of this series.
Him and D-Wade on a tandem jet ski.
Yeah, D-Wade, that's what I was looking for.
Another player whose career was never the same after playing with LeBron, D-Wade, right there.
Yeah, no, he is the cooler. It's crazy.
I want someone to find me a player who ascended after play. I mean, I guess Kyrie kind of, but that's a tough one. That's what we call a roller coaster.
I mean, he won that title with LeBron. It's kind of been downhill to some degree.
But to your point, Sean, is this not the epitome? Is this not the penultimate, as they use outside this? Is this not the absolute spot to jump on the Lakers now?
Well, and I thought it was Game 5. I misread the situation. I mean, if you read the Donaghy book, whatever sort of calls they might be able to swing for our buddies, the Lakers, I think they might. But that being said, I'm going to take Suns +2.5. Because I have them for the series, and I just honestly don't feel like rooting against them here. McKee, RFB, I know you're on the Suns here, right? Give me some give me some logistical reasons. And I'm enjoying watching. And we don't have it up on the video, but McKee is bouncing up and down on the Zoom on some sort of yoga chair, I'm assuming, right? Some sort of posture chair.
It's a yoga ball.
Yes.
We still don't have our furniture at our new place, so I only have a yoga ball to sit on.
That's how Suns he is.
But it's good. Makes me excited.
That's how Phoenix Suns you are. Way ahead of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
They were ahead of the medical game. Just working. I appreciate the posture.
McKee is living the life of a gypsy. If gypsies stayed in really nice Airbnbs and had sweet gigs working remotely. All right, so give us the Suns take.
Here's the reason that the Suns will win. It's because AD was the big outlier that the Suns could not guard. Okay. Yeah. The Suns don't have enough height. They don't have a backup center that they can play alongside of Ayton, not a traditional one. And so what would happen is they would have three bigs out there essentially with either Drummond or Gasol and then AD and LeBron. The Suns had to put their best defender, Mikal Bridges, on LeBron. And then Ayton would be on whatever center was out there, which left you with like a Crowder on AD. And so AD was able to drive and do whatever he wants. If he's not able to drive, even if he plays, his groin groin issues are always nagging. We know that in every sport. We've seen it in football, baseball, whatever you do, especially for a bigger guy. He's not going to be able to drive the same way. If he's a decoy and he just has to hit from the outside, as far as big men go, he's got a good outside shot, but they can't rely on that for enough scoring. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Suns. I'm also going to take the under 208. Only one game in this series has gone over. They've had so much trouble. I mean, the Suns defense has just been swarming. The last 10 games these guys have played, only 3 games have gone over. So even though 208 pretty low, I do like the under here as well.
And temperature check, Ryan. As you know, living in Los Angeles, the Lakers flags don't even come up until the second or third round of the playoffs. I've not seen any Lakers flags driving around Los Angeles. This is usually prime Laker flag season, but Lakers fans didn't even think that they might lose a round 1 playoff game. So I don't think the home court advantage does much for them. And Anthony Davis, this guy's got like the build of a grasshopper. It's just like these long kind of skinny arms that they're not fluid for a game of basketball.
Sometimes it's a disadvantage to be a giant guy when it comes to injuries. And back to specifically a groin. I mean, he's a big man, got a big groin. And what does the groin impact you? Change of direction. Like, it's the worst injury you can have for it's one of the worst injuries you can have for basketball, between that and like a calf strain. So I think, to McKee's point, if he's out there, I think you're going to see a lot of decoy, a lot of off ball. Maybe he's the screener. Like, he's not going to be an explosive to the basket guy. Man, the last couple times I've been swayed off of my absolutely not a basketball pick just reading the ebbs and flows of the NBA playoffs. I've been wrong. So I'm going to hold – I love the story. I think the Suns are going to take care of business in Game 7. I do worry that the Lakers, once they realized it wasn't going to be their night, they just completely punted. And perhaps that little bit of energy burst being at home, maybe the crowd will be rocking like it will be tonight, Sean, when we're at the Clippers game.
And if you look at a historic trend, I mean, LeBron coming off a 30-point playoff loss, historically, that's a good time to take LeBron. But I think, and to McKee's point, I think there's a world where Suns fans actually want, and maybe I'm crazy, but McKee, isn't there a weird world where Suns fan might want Anthony Davis to be out there? Because Anthony Davis was pretty passive, especially in Game 2 and Game 3 before he got hurt, and he was kind of timid. That was before an injury. Now you throw in a nagging groin injury. He's not going to know where to plant and what to do. Isn't there a world where you might actually want him out there on the court?
You mean old pussy brow? Well, yeah, he still was passive in Game 2 or 3, but that was the big reason I think they won, was him being out there. Again, the matchup.
Or no, I confused it. Game 1 was the game where he didn't do anything.
Yes. Yeah, he didn't do anything in Game 1. So I would rather not have him out there, but sure. I mean, if he's out there, I do, for all the reasons I said. I think he's got a nagging injury, and so I don't think he's going to be anything more than a decoy.
And McKee's playing it smart as a fan. He doesn't want to give the Lakers any sort of bulletin board material. I know a lot of the guys listen to the pod. They're gonna, I could see them pointing out. Suns fan, rich fat baby says he hopes Anthony Davis is out there, and then maybe Anthony Davis.
Blog boy, rich fat baby.
Blog boy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Schroeder is always hitting me up for my analysis. Dennis Schroeder loves the pod. He likes to. I translate it for him in German as well, so he listens to it in both ways.
Also,
Das good.
Also, big fan of the Das Bundesliga show.
All right. We probably should have picked this game first, but we got sidetracked with our Suns hot talk. Wizards Sixers, of course. Sixers.
Oh wait, Sean, I'm sorry. Before we get to your Sixers,
sure.
And the last thing I'll say about Anthony Davis, man who lives in L.A. now, gotta learn. People like a waxed pussy out here.
Yeah, you think
just using the. I mean, we have to. This is holding rich fat baby. This is a great nickname.
Pussy brow.
I'm gonna tell my brother.
Just
He's
call
gonna
him,
be so excited.
I mean, also, if you want to keep it clean on social media, AD the PB. That sounds like a real.
Went
nickname.
to Kentucky where he was a wildcat. I mean, there's a lot to work with here.
Do the drapes match the curtain?
Oh, God, I hope so.
To the rod. All right, Wizards.
We got to get our shit going mentally.
Wizards head back to Philadelphia. The Sixers were up. Embiid got hurt, knee soreness. Now he's dealing with that. Ben Simmons could not make a free throw to save his goddamn life. Now Sixers laying 6 at home, minus 250 on the money line. 229.5 is the total. I mean, I'm not a big total guy, but I think under on 229.5, especially because Embiid is doubtful for Game 5. Ben Simmons, dude, come on, man.
No drama here.
It's probably annoying when I compare myself to professional athletes, but
Yeah,
Ben Simmons making a free throw isn't that different from Sean Green making a free throw, and our percentages aren't that different. Albeit, I can hit a little higher than 60% from the line. I'm probably 65%. The fact that they're able to install a hack of Simmons defense at any point in the game and send a number 1 pick to the line, a guy who supposedly, I mean, guard, forward, whatever he wants to go by, however he wants to identify himself, I'm cool. I'm position fluid, but he's not a center. There's just no excuse for you to not hit some goddamn free throws. That being said, I think there is a switch that he can flip and be super aggressive and get to the rim. I think Sixers -6. They get it done. Knock on wood if you're with me.
You're
Although
nervous.
I am a little nervous because
NBA Sean is nervous.
I am slightly nervous because if they lose this one and then Game 6 goes back to the Wizards, Embiid's coming off the injury. Everyone says the injury is not a big deal. If it's not a big deal, you should be playing in a playoff game. That's what especially a closeout game. McKee, where are you at with the Sixers-Wizards series and game?
Well, the Sixers, as we've said all this year and last year, they're so much better at home than they are on the road. And they got, even after Embiid went out, they got damn close to winning that last game.
You're right.
So I do like, they were 31-7 at home this season. And yes, they were 10-11 without Embiid. He missed 21 games. However, I still think they're the superior team. Yes, you can get mad at Ben Simmons all you want. He should hit free throws.
Yeah, come on.
But I do think that they win this game, but I am taking Washington plus the points because I think it's going to be closer than I would like to give up that many points for the 76ers. Woj reported that the Sixers are hopeful for Embiid coming back, but I think the Sixers are smart not rushing him back because they can win this series without him.
Yeah, one thing we didn't hit on is that Davis Bertans for the Wizards, he's going to be out. And he, obviously not a star player, but I think him being out is kind of big. And also, Dwight Howard, as much as I've killed him and made fun of him over the years, he's actually given them pretty good minutes. And assuming he's going to start or at least play a bunch more with Embiid out, I think that he can carry the big man role there. And if the game starts out running offense for Simmons, which I think Game 2 they ran a lot where he was just attacking the rim and going nuts. If they can get that going early, I think they can make the Wizards realize they won out on the series. So I think there's a world where they cover, and I'm taking Philly -6. I'm a little, like you said, a little nervous, and I see it being a little lower scoring game. I mean, the Wizards, they chuck up a bunch of shots, and they were having trouble hitting at home. I think when they go back on the road here, that shooting percentage is even going to go down more. So, Kramer, where are you at with this one?
I mean, again, I
NBA
think,
God.
Well, it's simple. I think there's also the element of, we talked about that momentum in these series, and I think for some of these teams, it's not a must-win game. Obviously, they're up 3-1. It's must-win for our -2.5 bet, but
Yes.
It's also must-win because of what you just said. If they lose this game and they have to go back to Washington,
No one
a whole
wants to
heap
go
of
back.
pressure falls on Simmons because he probably had a bad game. Now Embiid, he better come back. He better be healthy. So yeah, narrative-wise, they got to handle business. They'll know that as a team. They see the path they have, right? They can't fuck this up. So I think they take care of business. I'm going to take another chalky home team here. Lay the points.
Josh Baker in the YouTube chat saying Ben Simmons triple-double +600. You know what? I'm gonna toss that in my little sheet over here because I think at +600 there's a scenario where they get that done. Memphis Grizzlies head back to Utah where the Jazz are laying 9.5 -500 on the money line. Grizz coming back 380 on the money line. 227 is the total. Man, it felt like the Grizzlies kind of had a shot there to close it out at home and steal a win. But eventually this Utah team is just way too talented. There is, as far as looking past the series, because I do think Jazz close it out at home, there is some weirdness going on between Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz team in general. I mean, there was that whole thing of him not playing game one where he was mad at the team, saying he could play, the team didn't want him to play. But it seems like it's spilled over. There are some weird chemistry issues for a team that's up 3-1. Where are you at with this game, McKee?
Yeah, I agree with you. Donovan Mitchell, there is some weird chemistry issues with this Jazz team. Last season it was with Rudy Gobert, not just with the COVID stuff, but also him complaining that not enough not enough people, respect him as a player, as a scorer. So there was that. Who's going to be the alpha, Gobert or Mitchell? So there has been this running narrative there. So if he is, that's why I am going to take the Grizzlies tonight plus the points, just because I think that that's too many points to give up for Memphis. And I think the Jazz are probably already starting to look past this series. And there's no real rush for them to close this out tonight with the Clippers and Dallas still tied up. They know that is going to go at least a couple more games. So Grizz very well coached with Taylor Jenkins. So I like Grizz plus the points. I wouldn't take them as the underdog to win straight up just because Utah is very tough at home. But you're right. There is some weird rumblings around this Jazz team. And the thing is, I think if they have an off night shooting threes, that's how they really just dominated Memphis is from beyond the arc. And if they get off a little at all, I think Memphis can keep this close.
Yeah, I think there's enough talent on this Grizzlies team, and especially what we've seen from Ja Morant, kind of making a playoff splash here with some really good games. I think there's enough there to cover the 9.5. Probably not my favorite play on the board here, but I'm going to go Grizz plus 9.5. Maybe you can get a 10 somewhere. I do think the Jazz close it out, but I agree. There's enough weirdness and enough missed shot potential on some threes for Grizzlies to get this cover. But really, the NBA Oracle himself.
You guys save the drama to me, all right?
Yes.
Stick to your fucking nerdy positive EV basketball analytics. I considered looking at an adjusted spread here for Utah. I think you guys are overthinking it. Would you not say Memphis has achieved their goal by getting to this point, stealing a game from a 2 seed or a 1 seed? Haven't they achieved some level of success? And how does the NBA work, right? You get to go through one door, and then that's the end. And then the next year, you get to go to the next door. And so I think them going down 4-1 here to a very good Utah team at home is just fine. I'll consider playing an adjusted line here. I was looking at the Utah minus 17.5.
Wow.
But I'm just going to say Utah minus 9. I think they just get it done. You said it, right? They're going to shoot well. I think they're going to shoot well. They're going to hit the threes, and it's gonna get away from Memphis. Again,
that is a very chalky, very public play.
I'm all chalk on this podcast today.
You can't go after the chalk god.
Winners win, baby.
If you're like Ryan, eating a lot of chalk, you're gonna work up a powerful thirst. What better way to quench it than with an ice cold Coors Light? Coors Light, it's literally made to chill, brewed in the Rockies. It's mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Again, perfect way to hit the reset button. I am looking forward to tonight, hanging out in a suite, ordering up some Coors Light, cracking open some cold ones. It's a perfect way to reset. I know people think, Sean, you're living the dream, and I am, but there's a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of emails I got to respond, a lot of tension in my back related to the Sixers and this Game 5 and Joel Embiid's knee. So what do? How do I need to reset? How do I need to chill? It's very simple. I got a chill pill, and it's in the form of a can called Coors Light. Coors Light, it's the one I choose when I need to chill. So when you need to hit the reset button, reach for the beer that's made to chill. Get Coors Light in the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And as always, celebrate responsibly.
Should send some of those to the Boston fans.
Oh, yes.
Get them to chill a little bit.
Well, perfect quick sidebar, because the Boston fans, they probably do need to chill. maybe if the water bottle guy was sipping on a Coors Light, he would be chill and not want to throw anything. You don't see anyone throwing a Coors Light can at an NBA fan because after you have it, you're chilled. How are you
gonna let Flat Earth Kyrie outsmart you, you idiot? He's still welcome in the building. Now you aren't, dummy.
There is a weird thing of Kyrie thinking the Earth is flat, essentially not believing in gravity, and almost being taken out by a water bottle that is sent on a collision course via gravity.
Yeah, he's since walked that back, Duke learning and all.
Okay. But worth mentioning the Celtics because former president of the United States, or at least that's what Celtics fans are calling him, Brad Stevens, now literally seems like he's going to be the president, transitioning from head coach of the Celtics to manager
president of basketball operations.
There you go. So he's literally going to be president. This is an unprecedented move. Am I wrong? I never remember a coach then becoming the president or moving to a front office role this quickly. Usually it's like the coach gets fired, he moves on, he coaches for a while, then comes back and decides to be, work in the front office. McKee, what are you making of this move? It seems kind of random to me, honestly. Is he just taking this GM role or front office role until the Indiana college basketball job opens up? What's going on here?
I have no idea what's going on. I haven't heard anybody talking about this, no leaks about this until it came out today. Danny Ainge retiring, he's saying, I guess to go drink a bunch of Coors Lights probably on a beach, which is my favorite type of Coors Light, a Coors Light on the beach. But I can't remember a coach going directly to president of basketball operations. I guess if anybody could do it, it's him. He seems to be one of the smartest coaches out there as far as just I can't say the word strategy, strategery, and player development. So,
but I mean, to me, that's why he's a good head coach. He's great at drawing up plays. He's great at getting guys to work together as a team. I mean, the reason the Celtics probably made these little mini runs that they've had in these past couple of years is because he's getting more out of guys than you normally should or normally could, and that's where his strength was as a coach. He was able to take that.
Yeah, he's had some of the worst luck, like the worst injury luck of any coach. I mean, you think about Gordon Hayward going down and all the problems that they have this year with guys going out for COVID, and I mean, Robert Williams could never really seem to stay healthy and get to his full potential. And then Jaylen Brown goes out before the playoffs. So
yeah, it seems
I certainly don't put it on him for their losses.
It seems like he's too good of a coach right now to hang it up. And if you're a Celtics fan, this team was never going to win the championship. But again, if Jaylen Brown stays healthy, maybe they do a little damage. And they're kind of in that holding pattern of being a pretty good team, waiting for maybe that third, or probably it would end up being a second superstar that could really, take you to the next level and get you that ring. So I don't know. It seems weird to give up on coaching when you're still a pretty good coach. Kramer, what do you think?
Well, I think first of all, the college angle is a bad one because he just missed that opportunity with Indiana.
Yeah,
and he certainly would have been the top guy had he wanted to leave. I think you got to look at this, right? Like what's happening in sports, player empowerment. Someone doesn't like Brad Stevens' voice, and the Celtics want to keep him around. The Celtics want to keep his brain in the building, but clearly something is not working with the team. Either that or he's burnt out from coaching. It could simply, but it seems more
he's
like
so young. I mean, by NBA coaching standards,
most people aren't going to step away from a job like this.
No, I know. That's why and you're going. It's not like the Celtics GM job is like working here at the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Like it's still a high pressure job that you're going into.
I'm telling you, I think that there's a sprinkle of player empowerment here. Like it seems like we might not see the smoke yet. Maybe Tatum doesn't like him. Maybe there's something going on there because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that you're saying I want to keep this guy's brain running our organization because we like what he's all about. But why not make him the coach anymore? Or
it's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Is this some bullshit where it's like we need a player? Like this is like purely an aesthetics thing. We don't want Brad Stevens to be our coach anymore. We need to bring in an old timer like KG or something like. again, Sean,
No,
you're
I'm
trying
good.
to rationalize something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
To me,
I can't figure
to
it
me,
out.
something happened, and this even could be Danny Ainge did something and got fired. Like there could be something here where they need to. They're just correcting something that happened, and they're doing so in a way that is like it doesn't make sense, which makes you say like, "Where's the smoke?" There's fire here. Where's the smoke?
There's clearly one more thing we don't
You
know
want
about
Jason
this story.
Kidd over Brad Stevens as a coach? That doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah.
but also like
Mark Jackson is available.
But if you think about what made Brad Stevens so good in college, it was more of that organizational thing, right? Yes, he's a good coach. Yes, he's a good number, analytics, all that good stuff. But maybe that tells you like you can do that from the president position, and you can just tell the coach what to do.
I think you're right, or you're getting warm with the Danny Ainge did something.
Something happened
that needs a quiet.
Danny Ainge's I thought he was a loved member of the Boston community. Like, why would he just quit?
Yeah, I think there's one more.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about it. Fuck Boston. This
there
is
you go.
good.
That's simple
It
enough.
wouldn't be the worst thing for Boston sports teams to go back to sucking for 20 years. So no disrespect to the chowderheads that we like, but I mean, it got a little annoying after the Red Sox won the World Series 20 years ago
the
almost.
Pink Cats,
And
even the diehard Celtics.
It hasn't stopped since then.
and Red Sox fans
It's been a little bit of an annoying like Boston run. So let's just all collectively root for them to go back into the ground for a little bit. Winter.
I was wrong. It has happened. Go from coach to president of basketball operations. Most recently with Pat Riley and the Heat. He went from president of basketball to coach to back to president of basketball operations. So maybe Brad Stevens just sees himself as the next Pat Riley.
Yeah, I mean, at least, and in that situation, Pat Riley is like, okay, you're being put out to pasture. Now you're going to do this elder statesman role. I mean, Brad Stevens, the guy's like,
but
he's barely got a beard. Like, he's not.
Maybe he's
super
got some
young.
some stress related thing. I think Pat Riley, like we ended up finding out later, there was something medical about him stepping back, wasn't there? And I think maybe there's something we don't know about. Maybe Brad Stevens just is done.
He was losing his precious hair, so he had to step back away from the stress of being a coach.
Brad Stevens is upset they can't get Tim Tebow, so he had to fake a heart palpitation.
Pat Riley and Brad Stevens couldn't be more opposite. It's great.
They really are two ends of the spectrum. All right, June 3rd. Denver Nuggets head back to Portland, where the Blazers are laying -5, -210 on the money line, +170 coming the other way. Normally, I like to make fun of the NBA and their celebration of players and their games, even when they lose, because the NBA is really a lot like that, where it's like, oh, he had 30 and 10, and it was amazing. It's like, no, they lost the game. But that Portland game last night, and as a guy who was on the Nuggets lane 1.5, a couple of times I just go, man, if he's going to hit shots like that, I'm happy to lose. If I'm going to lose a bet, I'd at least like it to be with like a historical performance. Now, there's two ways to kind of see this game going. Either A, Portland did everything they could. We got the game of his life out of Dame Lillard, and shout out to us. I think we all threw out. I know Zach and Munaf and myself were all on Lillard over points. It seemed like an obvious bounce back spot for him.
Did he get there?
Yeah, he got there. He probably got there just with his overtime points. Do they have anything left in the tank to close out Denver here, or is it just like everything's lost? They gave everything they could. They still couldn't get the victory. Now Denver closes it out in Portland. Oh, man, this one's tough because I do think Portland gets the win. -5, maybe it's a hair high. It's weird, though. Last night we finally got the close, good game in the series. Everything else had been a blowout. I'm smelling Portland blowout, but McKee, where are you at with this one?
Yeah, I was going to bring up the same point. It has gone one way or the other. The spread hasn't even mattered in the rest of the games except for one. So I came into this series picking the Trailblazers, and I flip-flopped after watching the first few games. And I thought that the Denver backcourt with the lack of Jamal Murray would be too much for – I thought that the Trailblazers could really exploit that backcourt with their two stars. However, as good as Dame has been, McCollum, he just can't seem to get to that same level where he can exploit his matchups. He's been good in a couple games, and Scott Reichel on the NBA Gambling Podcast pointed that out on our last pod. It's really going to be up to McCollum here, and I just don't seem to trust him after coming back from that injury. Also, Portland sneaky bad against the spread at home this season, 16-22 against the spread at home. So I guess I'm taking Nuggets plus the points, and I think that the Nuggets can win outright.
And hopefully you grabbed over 6.5 series length in this one, because now you're sitting on a minus 200. It was minus 105 when we picked it. I think almost certainly what we saw, and I think I commented to you, Sean, how tired Denver looked at the end of that game compared to Portland. Dame still looked like he had some hop, and to your McCollum point, that dude lost in his eyes, he lost the game when he stepped out of bounds. So if there's one guy that is going to be hyper focused to bounce back and prove everyone wrong, I think it's him. Again, this series was always going 7. It's still going 7, and I'm going to do it. We picked 4 games. I'm going favorites on all of them, and I think we're going to have some game 7s.
I'm going Portland -5, and interesting you bring that up, Kramer, because we're seeing the money line at Blazers -210. But if you like Blazers money line and want to play Blazers money line, double check the series price on games over 6.5, because that, depending on where your book is and what
off.
you're betting,
It's off now. So you would have
oh,
had.
okay. Well, there could be a window depending on your book. Some of these shops misprice stuff like that really is tied to the same result.
But even at that time, that's why it was a bad price.
Yeah.
Because all you needed to do was teams to hold serve, and you were going to get value.
And
positive EV.
I'm a guy who believes in McCollum. As we know, Lehigh beat Duke. McCollum, that step out of bounds, that was a tough look. He does seem like a guy who's strong-willed and is going to rally. And I think the Portland crowd helps carry this team. So I'm going to go Portland -5. I mean, McKee, RFB made some good angles on Denver +5. I just can't see it.
And I'm seeing a bad price. Both Portland and Denver to win in 7 are priced at around 200 plus 200. So, I mean, again, it's a longer game, but if you're Portland's favorite, if you think Portland's going to win on the road as a small dog, parlayed with a -200 favorite, it's not going to be equal to plus 200. So you can grab them right now.
I would. My favorite bet for this game is the over 227.5. In the last 10 games, these two teams have matched up. They've been 7-3 as far as the overs hit 7 times out of 10. So just plenty of points, not a lot of defense being played here. So that'd be my bet. But I do like the Nuggets +5.
Yeah, and it does seem like, especially with these teams, the tired legs would lead you to more scoring because the guys are just such good shooters, pure shooters. So they're relatively quick turnaround on they played a double overtime game, and you got a travel day in there. So I think the over 227.5 may be the best. I agree with you on this game for sure. We already gave out the picks for the Hawks Knicks. Kramer's on the Knicks. I'm on the Hawks. McKee, you have any thoughts on Hawks Knicks tonight?
Yeah, I think that the Knicks keep it alive. They're 26-12 at home this season, and the Atlanta's not been a great road team. They're 16-22 on the road. So they've been a little better since McMillan took over, but I think that the Knicks stay alive tonight, but I think that Atlanta wins this series.
You got room on the Suns bandwagon? I was realizing that there's really no reason for me to be a Knicks fan anymore. Fuck James Dolan.
Oh, wow, right.
I'm sad I got...
Your Julius Randle jersey hasn't even arrived yet.
I can't pull the trigger on a new guy. I keep looking for a John Starks jersey.
Ryan's shopping for John Starks jerseys. It's been a fun, ongoing storyline in the office.
I need a large John Starks jersey. There's none on the internet. It's in the eBay, nowhere. No one has a fucking John Starks jersey. So perhaps I'll be needing a Booker, maybe an Ayton. I don't know. Well, I'll be talking to Team Ryan and see what the preferred jersey is.
And what about Clippers Mavs? Kramer and I are both on the Clippers, laying 7 at home because we're gonna go into the game. So you gotta bet on the home favorite.
And by the way, Sean, Clippers to win 4-2, still plus 110. Reminder: the professional NBA tout Ryan Real Money Kramer gave it out at plus 750.
Yeah, that is huge. Are you?
How can you go against the Clippers knowing that a golden god like Kramer, the NBA's premier handicapper, if he's going to be in the house, I feel like that magic is going to wear off on the rest of the team.
Yeah, I agree. Clippers minus 12.5 plus 200. Let's fucking go.
All right, let's do a lock dog. and maybe call it wild card. Maybe there's a total, a series price.
Before you do that, can I just give you a fun LeBron fact?
Yes.
In the past decade, LeBron has not been eliminated from the playoffs by anyone that isn't Greg Popovich or the Golden State Warriors.
Really?
So let's keep that in mind as well.
Oh my God!
I'm pulling for the Suns in 7, but
Hey, you just said you wanted space on the Suns bandwagon.
I do.
Yeah,
I
come
do.
on. You
Fuck
can't
up,
be.
you're-
You can't be
I'm just
giving out
gonna have to
those
push
things.
you off of it. I just
All
let you
right,
on
yeah.
it.
Let's talk after the game Thursday night.
All right, McKee, you're the guest. We'll let you go. Give me a lock, a dog, and then something, something spicy. Either a series price, player prop, something else that's popping off at you.
All right. Well, my lock is I'm gonna go with the Knicks first half. I don't think they've won. That was the trend this year that everybody won a bunch of money on. Knicks against the spread first half. I don't think that they've won one yet this series, so I think that they are due. They're going to come out hot. They're going to come out a desperate team. They're better at home, as I already mentioned. So definitely like that. As far as my dog, I am going to go with the Grizzlies. I think it's kind of a long shot that they win tonight, but for all the reasons I said earlier, I do think the Grizzlies are still a live dog. And then something spicy. Geez.
Maybe a parlay that's talking to you.
I would go with the Lakers Suns under,
Okay.
and then take the Suns plus 2.5, and then take the Nuggets Trailblazers over 227.5 for that parlay.
Why
6
do,
to
why
1,
do-
baby.
why do we make this Phoenix money line for you?
Oh, let's juice it
Or
up
do
to
you
si-
want the 2.5 points? Come on, you
We'll
don't
go.
need those 2.5 points.
All right, let's take the money
No.
line. That's right. Let's go.
I can't wait for the Lakers.
Hashtag Digits only.
So you got the
Daddy needs a new yoga ball. Let's go.
he's bouncing on it while he says it. The visual is amazing. Okay, so over 227.5 for the Blazers. Oh, I like that. That's a good one. Kramer, what are you doing? Lock dog and something spicy.
Lock Portland. Come on. That's the.
Yeah.
I told you last night. Go bet on Portland as soon as that game ended. By the way, fuck ESPN. I come home and I'm like Shelly, you gotta watch these highlights of this game. It was amazing. So I pull up the ESPN highlight. They literally showed one Dame shot, and then they showed Joker hit a couple of shots in double overtime.
Really?
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Dame hit like 7 game-changing threes.
He had 2
Anyway.
game-tying threes.
Lock Portland.
Sorry, I'm in love with this sound drop.
Portland is the lock. The dog. We're gonna go. We're gonna go back to my my bread and butter, Sean. The adjusted spreads. We're gonna go to the Utah game, and I've been finding good
What
value.
is it, minus 19 or
No,
something?
I'm gonna stretch it to the 2-to-1 point, minus 14.5 plus 200.
Nice. And something spicy.
I still think you can get down on I'm still advising you to take the Clippers to win in 6. Plus
Okay.
110. I think they're not losing another game. And we didn't touch on it, but yeah, my initial reaction to round 2, we'll touch on this later, but instant reaction, Nets are real short fade. Way too short.
Yeah,
Way too
we'll
short.
we'll do another pod and hit on the round 2 stuff because there's only one game. It'd be nice to get
All
a
right,
couple more.
You're up, Sean.
I'm up. Let's do it. Every time I've locked them up, they've covered. Give me the Sixers minus 6. LFG for my dog. I'm gonna go Suns money line, and for my something spicy, whoever threw out Ben Simmons triple double at plus 600.
Josh Baker.
Josh Baker on the YouTube. Josh, I'm riding with you. If I cash this free T-shirt on us, and let's fucking go, baby. Let's fucking go. I also like, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But I also, the over, I'm going to add to my sheet here, the over in that Denver. The angle of them being tired and still being decent jump shooters, I think
We
makes a ton of
watched it.
sense.
They were definitely tired. And the last thing I'll point out, we're going to have fun with it, I think, tonight, playing the wheel with the Clippers. I'm going to play first quarter, first half, and full game One of the hosts on the NBA gambling podcast, Zach Bronner, pointed out all 3 home teams last night in Game 5, they covered first quarter, first half, and full game. So
nailed it. All right, McKee, RFB, the RFB himself, Rich Fat Baby McKee. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter at the Ryan McKee. Check
me out on Tally site too. I'm number 2 for the NBA playoffs and overall standings for all the experts. So there you go.
Well, it's experts only, McKee. So.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Check out his NBA picks on our sportsgamblingpodcast.com NBA picks page, and of course, locking it down as host of the NBA Gambling Podcast.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
It's not time to put LeBron in the casket yet.
Kramer, let it ride.